An SEC network analyst has a pretty harsh take on Deuce Knight.
In the world full of podcasts, he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of hot takes, an Auburn sports homer, master of the boog, and message board legend. Get your buttons buttoned and your hats flattened because the Top Button Podcast is about to kick off, and you don't want to miss your courtside seat. Now, here's your host, Charlie Five.
Yes, sir. We're back. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Rush, a.k.a. Charlie Five, and it's another Dadgum Friendship Friday, and we got another friend to introduce everybody to, and we're going to have so much fun and a lot of stuff to talk about. Cole Cubelic had some pretty harsh descriptors about our boy Deuce Knight, not a viable option in Cole's mind. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go ahead and preview SEC Media Days. Heck, we're a month away. We're a month away from SEC Media Days. What do we want to hear from Hugh? Who's he going to take? And everything that goes along with that. But before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to Rowback.com. Use coupon code BUTTON20 to take 20% off your order. I got my Rowback Auburn licensed, I guess it's the Throwback Aubie hoodie. I'm going to wear hoodies until it's just 100 degrees outside, I think. If you can wear it. Yeah, if you can throw one on, they feel amazing, and you can save big at the same time. If you don't want a hoodie, they got polos, swim trunks, hats, everything you can imagine. Check them out. It's rowback.com. My man Spectre, a.k.a. Dan, has joined the show today. I'm very excited. Dan, welcome to the show. You got some big shoes to fill. I keep saying it every week, man. Every single week, it just seems to be banger after banger, and you got to follow up Jim Dunaway from last week.
Hard act to follow, but I'll give it my best shot. But thanks for having me, Kyle, man. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. All right, so Cole Cubelic has some pretty harsh words on the Finebaum Show on Tuesday when asked about Deuce Knight and I guess expectations for this season. This is what he said, Dan, and then we'll react to it. He said he's uber talented, has the ability to be a gigantic playmaker, but I think the experience is just not there, and he's not quite ready yet. There's a reason they brought in Ashton Daniels from Stanford, who's actually played, who's actually been a starter. If things don't get reset or rewired for Jackson Arnold, could be a really nice stopgap until Knight is prepared. I've talked to multiple people in recruiting who say, listen, he's still raw. He's not ready to go be a collegiate starter just yet, but that doesn't mean he won't be great. But I don't look at him being a viable possibility this season. Dan, with everything that we've heard, Deuce being advanced, Deuce being further than we thought, what are your first thoughts when you hear this? Just your overall takeaway from Cole's comments here.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought when I heard it, I was like, kind of took me by surprise. And then you read it and you're like, he's really not saying anything that hasn't been said before. I mean, we all know Jackson's the starter. He brought in Ashton to be like, say something like you've discussed on prior podcasts. I mean, if Jackson was to get hurt game 1, game 2, I think we can all agree that Ashton will probably be the starter. But Deuce is uber talented, and maybe towards the end of the year, he'll get thrown to start being the starter then. But it's really, he's not really saying anything, out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I get that part of it. I do get that part of it, but I mean, I don't think Deuce was ever actually pushing Jackson for the starting job. Like, I don't ever think that was really a risk. Mm-hmm. But, like, when you read this, it almost seems like there's just, if you put him in there at all, period, this season, it'd be a disaster. I mean, it's like there's not a lot of positive at all. And I don't know that I fully am there. Like, I don't think by any means that if Deuce were to go in, there would be zero drop off from Jackson.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like if it's, you kind of mentioned if there were an injury early in the season, I feel like, middle of the season, if you can get him kind of worked in, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad deal. But what this does discourage me a little bit is, and you're probably like me, you want to see Auburn actually bring a quarterback along. You want to see an Auburn kind of get a guy snaps. And to me, if this is anywhere near accurate, this to me sounds like Ashton's probably going to be first off the bench whenever you get into mop-up time. And that means how much playing time is there for Deuce?
Yeah. No, I mean, when it comes to mop-up time, me personally, I would love to see Deuce off the bench. I think I would only like to, like, I mean, I want Ashton to play, but I'd rather Deuce get those minutes than Ashton, and Ashton just be okay with kind of sitting there, the glass in case of emergency.
Yeah, and for him to only have 1 year left and come here, essentially knowing that Jackson was coming as well, you almost got to think that he has that mindset that he's going to be okay sitting. But I want Deuce to get. I was looking at DJ Lagway's stats last
year. Oh my gosh!
And now he had some games where he started because of injury. But like even the games he didn't start, he threw the ball. I think he threw a pass in every single game. Like I just hope that this is not indicative of saying that just don't expect to see Deuce at all this season. I mean, I just think if you're going to keep him, you got to play him.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I mean he's got to get some playing time. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I don't necessarily disagree that he's raw and he's going to have some time to develop. And if he were to go in right now, I don't know that he's 100% ready from game one. But to me, you got to ease him in. Anything else anything else to take away from this? Any other direction you want to go with this?
I mean, I really don't think, and it may just be me booging, I really don't think it'd be a giant drop off from Jackson to Deuce, just because I feel like the talent is pretty much neck and neck. It's just the learning Hugh's scheme and the X's and O's portion of it. Because I mean, from everything we've heard, Deuce is getting up to speed pretty quickly from the season, from what it seems like, and just seeing his high school tape. I mean, he's just a certified stud.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, he was the MVP, and I mean that's a step up from where he played. And then he gets here a little bit early, not a little bit. He enrolls early and goes through spring, and all the reports, he doesn't turn the ball over until he had to run with the first team for the very first time towards the end. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm as down on Deuce, and I don't even want to say Cole's down on him. I just don't know that what I'm hearing about him really jives with what Cole is saying. And you're familiar with Cole. Like you listen to Cole, you listen to McElroy. Does sometimes you feel like both of them go like hardcore opposite the other way just so they're not labeled as a homer?
Yeah, maybe so. I feel, because with our state, we're all looking to jump on them. McElroy, you just want to be a Bammer. You just want to be a Barner. But I think it can be. But like you said before too with Deuce, I think just him and Jackson just taking these reps and not having to share with a third guy or a fourth guy, it's just invaluable. I mean, I think we're going to see that
for sure.
Me personally, I may be uber bugging, but I could see a world this year where Jackson could go maybe after this year, depending on the kind of deal we have, and Deuce slides in as the starter for 2026.
To me, if that were to happen, where Jackson's good enough to go have one season like we think he could have and go high enough in the draft or get projected high enough, if that were to happen, Auburn won a lot of football games, I think. Because I think the defense is going to be just as good. If Jackson has an NFL draft worthy year, Auburn is in really, really good shape. And then to me, that's the best scenario because Deuce can just slide in next year and we can roll. Regardless, I don't think there's any argument. It's a great quarterback room, a great situation to have, and you're miles ahead of where you were last year. We're going to switch gears and talk SEC Media Days. July 14th. Today's June 13th when you're listening to this. We are 1 month away from SEC Media Days. I don't remember which day Auburn goes.
I believe.
Oh, here we go. Auburn's on Tuesday, so
Yeah.
the 15th. So Hugh, and I think Hugh's first that day. So you kind of put some stuff out there. What do we want to hear from Hugh? Like if it's an ideal scenario, you know, Hugh gets picked apart every time he says anything. So what do you want to hear from Hugh, Dan? Like, what do you want if it's a perfect scenario? What do you want Hugh to say? What do you want to hear from Hugh?
I mean, me personally, I want to hear how the offensive line is gelling because I mean, that's been the focus. I mean, you've reiterated it. Zach has reiterated. I mean, with us, it seems like every year we're always like, all right, let's see how our offensive line goes. And me personally, this is the most excited I've been about an offensive line in years. I mean, with adding Chaplin and Moses, and now still having like Zach was talking today, actually having depth now with Too Tall and Dylan Wade, and it's just, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, to have a top 10, I think it was a top 10 from a Pro Football Focus standpoint ranking. I think Auburn was actually number 7, not in the SEC, but in the whole country. So for Auburn to have that, you know, I guess those expectations for the offensive line, you definitely, I want to hear Hugh bragging on the offensive line. Overall, this is what I want to hear from you. Okay. I am getting weary, I think, and a lot of people are. And he's changed a little bit. He has changed, and I'll give him that. I'll give him credit for that. But I don't want to hear I don't want to hear anything else about another recruiting class.
Yeah.
I don't even really want to talk. I almost wish if he's asked that question, we kind of shy away from it. Like, I don't want to hear anything more about another recruiting class. I don't want to hear anything more about where Auburn was before he got here either. Yeah. Okay. Those seem to be like the default directions we go, rightly or wrongly. I'll tell you this too. Everything he says is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not knocking what he's putting out there. I want to move away from that. Okay. He said before, he's always every year tampered expectations, and that's fine. Okay. He seems at times pretty excited about this year. Yeah. He feels like this roster is close to being where we need to be competitive in the SEC. So what I want to see a little bit of excitement. I want to see a little bit of, I don't want him to be arrogant. I don't want him to throw out expectations that are just way out there, but there's ways to signify, hey, I feel like this offense, like you mentioned, I feel like our offensive line, we finally are at a point where at least our starting 5, and maybe we have even a 7-man rotate, like maybe starting 7. Like I think you could be at least 7 people deep on the offensive line. You feel good there. Obviously, the wide receiver room speaks for itself. We feel really good about the quarterback position. This offensive side of the ball, talk about how, a little bit more positive, a little bit more positivity. You feel better about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm letting the negativity of reactions from the things that he says influence me sometimes, because I'm not necessarily reacting to the things he says. I'm reacting to what the reactions are.
Yeah, because he does get slammed for being too honest.
Yeah.
He's honest to a fault.
And sometimes that's refreshing, but I think if he were winning, if we would have won last year, won 8 games, maybe nobody cares when he says stuff like this. But like after a 5-7 season, like, okay, let's move away. We understand. Okay. We've talked about it for 2 years. We get it. It's a rebuild. We get it that Auburn was on essentially self-imposed probation when you took this thing over. Let's move away from that a little bit. Let's talk about this team and what they can do great and this, that, and the other. Am I just way off there?
No, you're dead on.
Yeah. So we'll see what he says. I think that's good stuff, though. I think what people always like to predict is who the head coach takes to SEC Media Days, as if it really means anything. But but it is a fun discussion to have.
Yeah.
Because this may be the year to me where outside of one player, it's completely not obvious who. It's been obvious for many, many years.
Yeah.
But to me, outside of Keldrick Falk, it's not really obvious who the guy is going to be. I feel like Keldrick Falk's a lock. Like,
yeah,
I may be wrong. I have no idea who the other two guys would be. Who do you think it might be?
Me personally, definitely Keldrick. I think Jackson is locked. I mean, he picked Jackson. Jackson, quarterbacks are the leaders. If Jackson doesn't go, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, who's going to be that third spot? And me, selfishly, if I was picking, I'd want it to be McPherson because I love the kid. I love the kid to death.
That's a cool story.
And what he's been through, and I think it'd be so cool to see him go.
That is a really outside of the box answer that I would have, if you would have asked me to guess, I would have taken 100 guesses and never guessed that. But that may be the best, like one of the best ones of those three that you can take. Here's the thing about Jackson, I'm just not 100% sure of. Oklahoma took him last year.
I didn't remember that.
He went with Oklahoma last year as a sophomore, and they were like, this is the face of the franchise type thing. And with everything that went on at Oklahoma, unbeknownst, like not his problem.
Yeah.
Some of it was, but like really, really tough situation. Do you want to throw him back into that, having to explain all that away from last season, especially when Hugh has preached we want our quarterbacks to always leave confident? I don't know if Jackson makes the most sense there, but if you feel confident about your quarterback, it's never a bad idea to take your quarterback. I almost wonder though, could it be Cam Coleman?
Yeah, I mean,
could he take Cam Coleman or even Eric Singleton? Could he take Eric Singleton? Could he take Xavier Chaplin? He's shown that he's not afraid to take portal guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really actually like the Alex McPherson. Here's a thing. Here's another thing about the McPherson thing. It sort of runs interference.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a little shield, because that's a storyline. So when you throw him up there, it sort of redirects focus from questions about last year, questions about how do you feel pressure on this season. I honestly think that may be a good pick.
I mean, there's going to be somebody who asks about it, but like you said, I think we're all ready to hear, about now instead of the back.
For sure. So you want Jackson to go. You want Jackson, McPherson, and then we know Falk's going.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sold on Jackson. When he was coming out of high school, I knew there was no chance he was going to pick us at the first going around, but I was sold on him. I mean, top 5 guy. And the fact, like, I don't know if it's you who mentioned it or Zach, but, if we had signed him out of high school, he'd have been our highest rated quarterback recruit
ever
of all time.
Yeah. 5-star plus across the board, Gatorade Player of the Year. Like he's a stud coming out of high school. I think he's got all those intangibles. I mean, I've said, and I still believe this. Like if you gave Hugh an Xbox and said, do you create a player for a quarterback? I think it ends up looking a lot like Jackson. I really do. Like the things that he does well, I think that's what Hugh loves. I could be wrong there.
No, I agree with you totally. And I mean, if you go back and look at the Oklahoma games last year, I mean, besides when we played them, because of course he didn't play that game, but that wasn't on him. I mean,
no.
I mean, his top starting 5 wide receivers all get hurt. He has no offensive line. It's just he took a lot of the brunt of that, kind of like Bo did when he was with us, when Bo was running for his life.
They remind me of each other too. And I think Bo in this offense would have been as good, if not more electric than he was at Oregon. And to me, Jackson's like the closest thing to Bo that you could possibly get. Their game looks so similar. Even the way they run, being able to throw off platform, I think there's a lot of similarities there. So great stuff, my man. Another great Friendship Friday. Dan, thanks for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who should we take to media days? What do you want to hear from Hugh? And then do you agree with Cole Cubelic? Let us know what you think about his comments on Deuce Knight. Guys, thanks for listening. If you like the video, like it. If you like the channel, subscribe to it. we're going to be back again next week. We'll be back live Sunday night, and then we'll be back again every day next week. It's another episode of the Top Button Podcast. Stay buttoned.
Thanks for listening, and drive home safely.